So we're just days after a tragic event that we all know. We all know what we're talking about here. Going to try to avoid certain words so they don't get completely kicked off this platform. But it's just days after a tragic event, and people are already trying to push bills. They're already trying to make things happen and to capitalize on it. We're going to be looking at some of the ways that they're trying to capitalize. We're going to be looking at some of the responses from various organizations on both sides, and we're going to be looking at some interesting reactions from some people just talking about what's going on and how we see things moving forward. Before we get going, though, I do want to say thank you to Premier Body Armor for supporting this channel. They actually sent me out this really cool laptop case. They sent out a backpack panel, easy ways to carry around level 3A body armor that will stop handgun rounds without really affecting your day-to-day life. They also sell hard body armor, beer koozies, which are mostly a novelty, but hey, I guess it protects what's most important, your heart, lungs, and your beer, right? You guys know everything in the description can support me, links in the description. Thank you to Premier Body Armor for helping out. The shooter was a person who was wearing body armor. Now, we've seen in the past that various bills, we've actually talked about videos about this before, where various bills have actually attempted to ban body armor. Now, my question is, really, we got to look at how many crimes are actually involving body armor. You know, not a whole lot. Who's really carrying body armor? Usually just the police and the government. Private citizens have seen an increase in body armor sales and ownership, which I think is cool. Having the means to protect yourself in ways that are other than a gun, or in areas maybe where you can't bring a gun, but you might want to have some sort of protection for whatever it is. The reason is that you can't carry a gun. I don't know. Don't know. Now, body armor is very neat. Why would the government not want you to have body armor? Well, they're saying it's because it's what helped the shooter, but really, what helped the shooter, we know for a fact, is that he targeted people who were unarmed. Now, he was targeting people that could not have means of protection like a firearm, tools to actually violently attack another person to protect yourself. Now they want to make it so that you couldn't even passively protect yourself with body armor. That's pretty interesting to me. Now, I believe a bill in New York was introduced about this in the past, but I could very much likely see this going forward federally in the future. This would be something that I think many people wouldn't get too outraged about, and I think they can maybe slip it by. So this is one that we would definitely have to keep our eye on. We've also already seen New York legislators already introduce new magazine bans to make it so that people can't get through loopholes, as they're describing it. I'll have links to those down in the description as well. So they're already trying to capitalize on pushing bills. These bills, I'm curious though how they think it's going to stop them. Now, New York is a state with red flag laws, assault weapon bans, magazine bans, carry bans. They basically have everything. They have every sort of gun control that you could possibly want, and none of it stopped this person. Now, the solution is to make you, as a good citizen, less capable of protecting yourself. Now, one interesting thing that I saw was from NYPD News on Twitter. A 15-year-old male arrested for a loaded gun in December, given probation in April, was arrested again with a fully automatic handgun this Saturday. Officers from the New York PD PSA 8 were able to make the apprehension after a brief foot pursuit, keeping the community safe. Now, my thing is, they're just going to let people out that are actually dangerous frequently. So they don't have any true interest of actually protecting you. The only reason that this guy is in jail is because it's a high-profile case. We've seen time and time again people that assault and attack people with numerous violent histories on record are just let out by activist DAs. This is in New York, LA, San Francisco, every big liberal city. Not trying to get too political, but it's the big liberal cities that are all having these same issues. And now a big push now that we're going to be seeing is for assault weapon bans. And something that Rob Romano pointed out was that all of these newscasters and all of these public figures that are quoting various polls about assault weapon bans and gun control pushes, they're using data from 2017, 2018, 2019, but they're leaving out 2020, 21, 22. Why do you think that is? Do you think that could have anything to do with the massive increase in gun ownership over the past few years? Do you think that many people realize that the government can't protect you and has no real interest in protecting you, and maybe people are finally starting to wake up and realize they need to be able to protect themselves? Apparently, the person that did these violent atrocities was looking at furry porn before he did them. Now, I'm not saying that we can blame furries, but look. Now, I always love, every time there's big gun control pushes or something happens in the news, Representative Eric Swalwell, he always finds ways to butt into this. And now he came with the classic, my 4-year-old just FaceTimed me to ask what I'm doing to help the people in Buffalo, and why did the bad man do this? Absolutely gutting. This cannot be his normal. It's time to ban assault weapons. Hashtag end gun violence. Now my question is, why the hell is he exposing his 4-year-old son to this kind of violence on the news? Why would you, as a parent, intentionally allow your kid to be exposed to these sorts of things? When I was that young, when I was 4, 5, I don't know, somewhere around there, one of my biggest concerns was Street Sharks, the TV show, which was actually pretty based. There's some, maybe I'll show some scenes later, but I was interested in cartoons. I was not interested in violence on the news because my parents knew that that sort of thing wasn't what is meant for kids to consume. Now, one of my favorite responses was on Reddit from an absolute brain cell known as PM Me Your Thong and Ass. That's the username. Imagine if the entire gun community emphatically condemned racism, mass shootings, and violence. A lot of would-be shooters would be discouraged from taking action, or perhaps that's just me hoping too much. They think that it is the responsibility of gun owners as individuals and as a gun community to take the responsibility for these terrible actions committed by fringe weirdos that we don't accept into the gun community, and it's our responsibility to say the obvious by saying, hey, don't commit acts of ethnic cleansing, and hey, mass murder is bad. Things that we say anyway, but apparently we aren't saying it enough. And if we did say those things more often, these sickos would just stop committing mass violence. Now, I said the gun community has never endorsed mass murders. Find one major gun rights organization that has endorsed racial cleansing through mass murders. And he said, and what do they do to discourage them? Well, my response is they shoot them in the face, like in Texas. But let me know what you think down below. I'll have links down in the description. You guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace. I don't know if you can actually see this, but I was actually wearing this t-shirt body armor that Premier Body Armor sent me this whole time. It's interesting. Not something I would wear on a daily basis, but it is a product they make, and if it's something that interests you, I'm sure you could find a way to make it useful to you. I'm very much more interested in the laptop case because it's something I literally use almost all the time, and then the backpack panel that fits in any standard backpack. That's pretty neat to me. Very light, affects me in no way whatsoever, and adds a little bit of protection. I wouldn't even say it's peace of mind, because again, I don't even think about it being there. Thank you.